the sirens wail, shadow wings are rising from the blackened veil. Across the skies of Zion, war ignites again, guide us towards descend like a phantom flame. Through the storm from hidden cloud, a screech of power fierce and proud. Emerald wings with silent grace, Holotech Raynos takes its place. Monster machines fly like thunder, silent and fast. Emerald lightning built to last. Still from the future, born to prevail. Holotech Raynos rule the gale. Side by side with the terrors in flight, and salamanders bring in the night. Steel wing justice, aerial might. We ride the skies, we own the fight. Fly like thunder, silent and fast. Emerald lightning built to last. Stealth from the future, born to prevail. Holotech Raynos rule the gale. Side by side with the terrors in flight, and salamanders bring in the night. Steel wing justice, aerial might. We ride the skies, we own the fight. They come from the east in the shadow of dread. Redlers screaming with eyes glowing red. Sinkers dive like a serpent strike. Zoids hide where the dark denies light. Raynos dance and cut the wind. Their claws and lasers swift to rend. Invisible death in a flash of green. The sharpest blade the world has seen. Monster machines. Sea will fly unseen, revenge is painted in emerald sheen. Wings of hope, claws of flame, for Helix honor we stake our claim. Fly like thunder, silent and fast. Emerald lightning built to last. Stealth from the future, born to prevail. Holotech Raynos rule the gale. Terror sharp in a raptor dive. Salamanders keep the fire alive. We own the skies, no place to hide. Holotech Raynos leads the fight. Fly like thunder, silent and fast. Emerald lightning built to last. Stealth from the future, born to prevail. Holotech Raynos rule the gale. Terror sharp in a raptor dive. Salamanders keep the fire alive. We own the skies, no place to hide. Holotech Raynos leads the fight. Raynos, Raynos, wings of steel. Raynos, Raynos, make them kneel. Raynos, Raynos, strike from above. Raynos, Raynos, fight for the ones we love. Raynos, wings of steel. Raynos, Raynos, make them kneel. Raynos, Raynos, strike from above. Raynos, Raynos, fight for the ones we love. Monster machines. Raynos, Raynos, wings of steel. Raynos, Raynos, you make them kneel. Raynos, Raynos, strike from above. Raynos, Raynos, fight for the ones we love. Wings of steel. Raynos, Raynos, you make them kneel. The void of the stars, a lone world screams. Star, the broken, torn at the seams. Steel beasts clash in the fiery tide. From the central plains to the oceans wide. From mountains high to the desert stone, march the heroes carved in chrome. Shield lickers run with a howling might. Command wolf strike in the dead of night. Godos roar on shattered ground, where liberty and steel are bound. That thunder stops, the earth will shake. For freedom's flame, make no mistake. Zoids, thank the metal hearts of fire. Zoids, in the storm we rise up higher. Republic's thunder, steel defenders roll through burning skies and battles toll. Zoids, this is the final stand. command. From shadows deep and wasteland blight, march the claws of the endless night. Hellcat stalk with silken death, sinker soar with missile breath. The red horn charges cold and grim, death summer wakes on chaos whim. Their warpath scorch, their justice blind, a ruthless march for a twisted mind. One is thunder, one is doom, they clash beneath sea's blood-red moon. Giant horns clash, cannon fire rains, one will fall and break the chain. Mad thunder charges, defiant roar, death's cover hungers for the war. Zoids, justice rolling like a storm. Zoids, in shattered cities hope is born. Barricades blaze the swamps and fire, Raynos scream from the clouds like a choir. Zoids, marching for the light of sight, with cannon fire and battle cry. Let the gunnels tremble, let darkness flee. The helling flame burns wild and free. With every Kado's terror and command wolf, we hold the line on sea's last gulf. The war drums thunder, the Zoids don't yield. The last stand roars on the battlefield. Zoids.
Metallic giants rise from iron grounds. Blue guardians down the heart. Lights and fury in the sky.